Yeah. Clock out, punch out, day is done. Switch on the screen, the real fun's begun. From the East Coast to the West Side Sun, the notification drops for everyone. Yeah, the G is live, US of A. Chasing the clouds, got something to say. Leave the drama and the stress behind. It's a global link for all mankind. Yeah, you know the sound, butters on the mic. Gather round, random live time. Kick up your feet, turn the speakers up to feel the beat. Yeah, let the good vibes flow. It's the only place you need to go. All you need is butter for that. For the hype, the clouds and random chat. See the names light up from all over the map. Caught in the moment.
Well, shit. Gotta wait for Mr. Jim to turn the stuff on. Neil Pitts, you shut your fucking mouth.
Stuff. There's my stuff.
There's your sound.
Hey, there. Okay.
How you doing today, big brother?
Not bad, not bad. Sun shining. Not dead yet.
That's good. That's good. Let's get right into it then. Some political. Well, you want to do buffets first, or you want to just jump right into it?
Well, I'm vaping on the Blaze Solo on top of the Guar. That's got my juice. I got the sand with, yeah, right, Brett's juice. Candy coffee. And, well, I did have the drop running, but I'm going to rewick it, so I'm not going to count it. But that's all I'm vaping on.
Yeah, the only thing I have laying around is the Billet box, and I do got the GT4 coming in. I just found out today about that. It just cleared customs today, so that should be coming in on Monday. I just got told about it. So how about that man Donnie over here in New York, though, Jim?
They're loving him, ain't they?
Yeah, but I just found out from my godmother, though. Staten Island's still not that happy about him.
Well, Staten Island traditionally always been more conservative anyway.
Right, and from what I got told, Staten Island wants to be a part of New Jersey. But then again, they've been saying the same shit since the guy got into office,
Well, I don't know. After these preliminaries, it's looking like maybe New York's not going to be so good in the next 4 years for them, because things are starting to go back. People are starting to wake up and go, "Oh, how long did it take? He hasn't been in office for what, 2 months rather."
He hasn't been in office for more than a cup of coffee.
I think it's 2 months this week or last week. And everybody that voted for him's already turned on him. Come on, yeah. If they don't have a recall in the next year, I'll eat my hat.
Right, but I can guarantee you though, Jim, with Mandani, if you asked every single Staten Islander, did you vote for Mandani? More likely they'll tell you, no, we didn't vote for him.
No, because you guys are like, you're like up here in Maine. You've got New York City.
Right.
They run everything because Manhattan and all them, that's where all the blues live.
Oh yeah.
And they're gonna run everything, while you guys on the outskirts that do all the shit get no say. You know what I'm saying? Your votes are canceled out because you just don't have the numbers. They all congregate.
I just want to bring my father's comment on the screen. Bring back Mayor Giuliani.
I agree, Dave. I agree. Giuliani was a great man. I don't care. I know he had his faults. I know he did shit. Everybody's done shit. I'm sure you've got something that you don't want out in public. It doesn't make you a bad guy.
All honesty, and I'm gonna leave it like this. This is basically like when Trump ran for office the first term. Half the motherfuckers that hated him wanted him out of office so bad, and they all kept saying the same thing. Oh, he's not my president. Oh, this, oh, that. But yet, now that Trump's in office again, they're not having any issues with him.
Well, no, they're saying they do, but you don't have an issue with him because you're still out there screaming. If
Right,
you out there screaming, that means you're still free. And if you're still free, Trump's doing his job.
right. And then on top of that, from what I've seen, okay, so you know how we spoke about all these protests and shit like that with the kids from middle school and shit like that,
Yeah.
bro. It's from this is all on my Facebook and everything. All these kids are getting arrested. Man, Donnie and them are saying that it's okay for these kids to miss school just so they can do this. But yet, aren't you and everybody else saying, "Oh, these kids should be in school focused on getting their education"? But yet, you're
Well,
having
that's the way it used to be, and that's what everybody's screaming. Look, man, I don't care who you are. I hired you to teach third grade math. You teach third grade math. You
right,
don't talk to my kid other than math. You don't rate my kid. You don't secretly interrogate my kid, and you do
right,
not indoctrinate my kid. You teach him third grade math.
and that's the thing with some of these schools. They want to do all that extra stuff, but yet they fail to teach their kids, and then the kids end up getting the teachers fired because of what the fuck happened.
Yeah, no, I think they should get fired. But I think a right wing should get fired. If I went in there preaching fire and brimstone, Jesus and God, they should fire me too. Because
Exactly.
whether I like it or not, see, I'm not a big fan of separation of church and state,
Right.
but they made an issue of it. We have
Right.
separated from church and state. Nobody should have a say in anything in my public school system.
This,
Nobody should say anything but learning your arithmetic.
Jim,
Sorry.
I'm bringing this comment up because I think it might give you a kick. Neil Pitts just said we need to recall Dylan. He's not doing the job we voted him to do.
Well, shit, I've been advocating for that for a long time. You all been laughing at me.
Jim's been voting the same shit for freaking years. And this is after Jim's been telling me I'm the jester if he's president of the United States. Ugh.
Now,
But
things are starting to turn around, though. People are waking
yeah,
up. People are starting to be held accountable. And, I mean, it's going to take time.
yeah,
They've run roughshod over us so long. But it's fun to watch the eyes when they go, uh-oh, shit, something's happening. They're supposed to yell at me and let me go. They're not.
yeah. And it's the same. And I feel personally, it's the same shit with the whole ICE bullshit that's been going on. Now I know
Yeah,
from
yeah,
the last time you and I spoke about ICE, they were supposed to be up in Maine.
they were. But they did their job, and we're not. I mean, we had our people, spouting off. We had our idiots,
Right,
but not like Minnesota, not like LA would or
right,
Chicago. Our people are smart enough to go, okay, we can go so far before they're just going to fucking hit us with an axe. We're going to be lobster bait. So
right,
our idiots are smarter than most.
right. And on top of that, the ICE agency only had to go to Maine once. They had to come here where I'm at 3 separate fucking times.
Well, that's it. Well, that's it because they have that they have that support group of all these idiots. Now I get it. They honestly think they're doing good because this little old lady that lived down the street, she makes these taquitos every Friday, feeds the neighborhood.
Right,
She's been here for 30 years, hasn't caused trouble. I get it. She's a sweet woman, but she still broke the law. She's had 30 years
right,
to get her paperwork. I'm sorry she got caught, but where we are now, they abused it.
right,
You're always getting illegals coming in. But when you made it that we had to take them in, we had to feed them, we had to house them, we had to give them money and clothes,
right,
you abused it. And now
right,
we got to reset. When you got a mouse in your house, you set out a trap. If you see 3 mice, you set out 6 traps. When you
right,
see a dozen mice, you tent the house and fumigate and kill everything.
right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
At some point, you've
it's
got to
like
reset.
it's like there's right before my godmother moved to where she's at. She was right over the bridge in Perthamboy, New Jersey. right across the street from her, there was always this one fucking house, and this is gonna be like this is just everywhere. There was this one house, and I don't mean to sound racist in any way, shape, or form to everybody watching the chat. There was this one house full of fucking Mexicans. That was like 20 to 30 fucking Mexicans in the house just living there. Cops were there literally once every other week just to tell them, you can't do this. This is basically a family of 3 house, and you have 30 fucking people living here. You can't do that.
But that's another example of them coming here and not respecting our laws, our codes.
Right.
Because our, like you just said, our code says this is a three person house.
Right.
That's what our code's going to let you live in. I know where you came from. You can put 30 people in there, but you're not where you came from. You're here. You follow my rules. And I know that sounds so trivial, but if they're not going to follow that rule, what other rules aren't they going to follow? And what about the guy that thinks he can beat his wife because Allah says I can? Well, no, we don't play that here.
It's like it's even like some of these other countries that say, oh yeah, I can have like 45 fucking wives, while here in America, in China, Japan, we're only entitled to have 1 wife.
Exactly. So if you don't
can't break that 1 wife code. You can't.
Yes. If you don't like it, don't be here.
And then speaking of people breaking the laws, though, bro, tell me how I just seen a video on YouTube. I think it was either yesterday, right before I spoke to you about doing the show with you and everything. I just seen a video on YouTube of a cop talking to somebody, right? It was the guy was a truck driver, basically like what Angel used to do.
Yep.
Cop asked the guy, "Oh, are you hiding anything? Can I, search the car?" The guy was like, "I'm not hiding anything. You can search the car." Cop moved a piece of plywood and had like fucking 10 people hiding in the fucking within the plywood.
No shit. Yeah.
And the guy got arrested right then and there. I'm like, you're a fucking idiot for doing that shit.
But he was probably a nice idiot instead of putting 20 people in there and hoping 8 lived.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, that's just, people laugh, joke. They don't want to see that part of it.
Right. And the good thing,
I have to stop grandma from coming over. Because I can't stop some and not all and all and not some. You gotta stop it all right now.
And the good thing is it was a good thing in my opinion. Honestly, I don't know how you feel about it, but it was a good thing the cops started in the back instead of going to the front and starting in the front when there was nothing in the front for the cop to check.
Yeah, no, they know the tricks. Yeah, because on YouTube you can watch it. It's called Border Patrol.
Yeah,
and they mostly it's like Australia and UK.
Yeah,
and no, they don't mess around. They know the tricks,
bro. It's the same thing with like all these other companies, not companies, but all these other countries. It goes back to how we always talk about how vaping's dying down and shit like that. It's like if you travel to another country, they'll arrest you right on spot for fucking vaping.
Yeah.
And they'll even tell you if you vape this in public, it's a $500 fine, or you'll get arrested for X amount of dollars because we don't want you vaping, and that's causing people to go from vaping back to smoking cigarettes
because it's no longer convenient and easy.
And it's brother, it's like Australia. They've already gone through a shit ton of stuff because of the vaping, and which is why Bogan had to leave where he was at just to go over to the UK.
Yeah, now he's got himself in a mess over there, don't he? UK's not much better now.
And I forgot who I was talking to about this shit. I'm like, you see, this is why Bogan. I understand, Bogan's wife has dual citizenship. UK, Australia.
Yeah.
But if you had just got your citizenship for the States, okay, then you would have came out here, moved to one of the states out here, not had to deal with this shit, and you would have been fine. You all you had to do was deal with the US Customs, and that's just it, But now you got yourself into a bigger mess than what you already had to go through with Australia, and it's just a shit show.
I watched a video, and this just happened during Rama, whatever that Rama Lama Ding Dong thing they got there, the
Ramalama
Muslim.
Ding Dong.
Well, they were having a big prayer thing there in London, and they arrested a Christian priest for saying a prayer over a small group because somebody was offended by the prayer.
Right.
But
Bro,
yet they got all these people on their knees going, "I, kill America."
Bro, they
No.
had the same shit over in Times Square. They had
Yeah.
everyone fucking, holding up Times Square, fucking doing a prayer, talking about, oh, we hate dogs and shit like that.
I think everybody ought to go out and adopt 3. Go to your local shelter. Take 3 of the biggest, nastiest, mangiest looking dogs, and then take them for a walk every day.
Bro, it's like telling a pothead. Now I always joke around with you and I fuck with you on this. It's like telling a pothead, oh, you can't smoke for a month straight. Well, you're gonna die within 24 hours.
Yeah, but
That's not
you're right though. It is the same because what the fuck business is it of yours?
Exactly.
You came to my house and telling me, no, you can't smoke pot no more. But you came to my country and told me, no, you can't have a dog anymore. Really? Where you
Exactly.
been? Every fucking American movie has somebody's got a fucking dog. If you want to make
Exactly.
America cry, kill a dog in a movie. Come on. You're coming to this country and telling us?
It's even the same shit when you and I were talking about I forgot what it was. We were talking about, oh, well, you can't have a gun in your house. You can't have a gun in your car. What happened to the fucking Second Amendment rights where I'm allowed to carry a gun and have a gun in my house and be able to defend myself?
Because if they can debunk the second, that means they can debunk the first. If they can debunk the first, they can debunk the 14th. If they can debunk the 14th, they can debunk the 5th, and then they can get rid of the Constitution, and then they can have the New World Order. See,
Yeah,
America is the only thing in the world that has what we have. And we stand as an example. Dude, you could have this. All you got to do
exactly.
is stand up to your government, kick their ass. It's not free. You're going to bleed. You're going to die. It's not
Exactly.
easy. You're going to go hungry. It's going to be cold. Ask the soldiers of Valley Forge. Come on. Freedom isn't free. And
Exactly.
people don't want to admit that and just go, okay, I am out here screaming for
Yep.
something so stupid, but nobody's come down on me with dogs and bats. No, yes, if I cross the line, they arrest me, but no, we're not getting beaten and
Right.
hauled off to a camp. My kids and my parents aren't taken away either. Come on,
Right.
get over it, folks.
Even like Neil just said, I have to comment on screen. Jim, in some cities, you have to have insurance to cover if your dog attacks somebody.
Yeah, no, that's right. And it's stupid because if I come to your house, I don't know you, Neil. All right, and you got a big dog in your yard. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna respect the fucking dog. I'm not stupid. Really? Your dog
Exactly.
bites me. He doesn't know me. Why is it the dog's fault?
Exactly. It would be
I don't agree with that. I think
with
people need to be held responsible for people.
well with that, Jim. If the dog attacks you, it ain't like you just said. It ain't the dog's fault. It's the owner's
Yeah.
fault.
Now,
The
if your
dog,
dog roams the neighborhood and mauls the neighbor kid, okay, that's your problem. That's the dog's fault.
yeah,
But if
exactly.
the dog's protecting his property, no. I 100% agree. I watch too many of those YouTube videos and they're too entertaining when the dogs attack the
Exactly.
intruders. It's fun. Uh, don't do that. There's a reason police use them because they're vicious and they get the job done.
Exactly. And you know what? And that's another thing. I've seen a cop video. I forgot when it was, but somebody was saying that bitch moaning and complaining. Oh, police shouldn't have dogs or this or that. And it's like, well, how else are they gonna bust your stupid ass for fucking having drugs in your shit?
Well, that's it. Again, you guys have abused the system. Now everybody gets checked. Now everybody's a suspect.
Exactly. And you know, and that's what some of these people don't seem to understand. If you don't do anything stupid, if you don't do dumb shit, you wouldn't have the police on your ass. You wouldn't have the
Exactly.
government on your ass. You
But
wouldn't.
I'm not getting my car window broken and yarded out of the car because I refused to cop my license, because I'm not going to do that. If I get pulled over and the cop says license, please, I hand him my license. Yes, sir.
Exactly.
You know, I'm not. You're right. I'm not going to be in that position.
And Jim, the funny fucking thing is, half these lawyers that get pulled over too, they be putting these cops in their fucking place because everybody's fucking retarded. And then these cops want to sit there and be like, oh, well, you don't know your constitutional rights. You don't know your laws. But when the
Oh my
fucking...
God. We was watching a video of one of them sovereign citizens like you're talking about. So he gets pulled over, the whole spiel. No, 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 I'm traveling, not driving. I don't need a license. I don't need a red. He calls up his guru on the phone. He says,
Right.
you got to explain to these cops, you got to come get me. They're taking my car. So the guy shows up after giving him all this advice that got his car towed and almost him thrown in jail. His guru shows up. He's got a license. He's got a registered car. He's all legal, but he's telling all these people, no, you don't need this stuff. It was funny. Yep.
No, and mind you, half these fucking people that I say, it's all females. They're like, oh, I know my laws. Oh, well, this. And the cops say they're fucking looking stupid, fucking stuttering off his ass.
I'm just wondering, if you know the law better than I do, how come I still have a job after 10 years? If the cops were breaking the law, you wouldn't think they'd be doing it for 20 years.
Bro, even some of these male lawyers do the same shit. They sit there in the car, they get pulled over. Half of it, you know how these cops can be. Some of them are corrupt, some of them are not. You know, in this case with this gentleman, he was an African American male lawyer. Been doing his job for like 10, 20 years. Cop pulls him over and says, "Oh, do you know why I pulled you over?" Tried to fucking literally tried discriminating him based off skin color,
Yeah,
and say
unfortunately, that still happens. Yep.
and basically say he doesn't know anything because of his skin color, but yet the lawyer put him in this cop in his place, and fucking literally the cop just shut the fuck up immediately.
But unfortunately, I still do that too, because if I see you, if you're black, you're coming at me, you got a bandana around your head, your pants around your ass, I,
Right,
I instantly know what you're going to be. And no, not always is that right. I'm sure you can look like that and be a normal person. I don't know why
right,
you look like that, but I mean, look at me. I look like an idiot and an asshole most of the time, and I think I'm a nice guy. So,
half and half.
but I'm sorry. You watch enough TV. We're all on social media. You
Exactly.
know the profile. If you see a Chinese guy with glasses carrying a violin case, you automatically assume he grew up with Chinese parents. Come on.
Exactly.
We
It,
make
it's the
these assumptions based on your general actions. You don't
it,
like it, change it.
it's the same thing. If you see a Chinese kid walking to school with one of those polo, like one of those button down shirts, the fucking pen holder and the shit, pens and
Yep.
books, you automatically assume this kid's a fucking math genius.
Exactly. Because that's the way we've been conditioned, and they haven't done anything to change that image. What city did you live in, Neil? That you had to have a dog muzzled? Wow.
I never seen or heard anything about that, but
Well, I could see it, but Jesus, that's kind of extreme. That dog upsets me. That dog scares me. Oh my God.
oh my god, I need a teddy bear in my blankie.
There was that one dog that was famous over in England. I think it was England, Liverpool.
Some
Uh,
shit.
but it was a pit bull. And because everybody hates pit bulls, they get a bad
Yep.
rap.
Yep.
Well, I guess she was the friendliest, sweetest dog, but nobody would approach the house. So
Right.
they put up a sign saying, "I'm friendly, please pat me." And
Right.
now the dog got famous because people would schedule their walks, their lunches, just to come by and play with this big, mean looking dog
Right.
that, everybody had ignored all these years. And it was cute, but the dog went viral and went famous.
And that's the thing. They classify pit bulls as dangerous based off all from what I've seen and heard. The only reason why they classify all these pit bulls so dangerous is because apparently they were built for these dog fights.
Well, yeah, no, they were bred to be mean. That's why they do mean things.
Jim,
But
you're
I
gonna laugh
couldn't.
at this comment. I put it up on the screen.
I tried to muzzle Dylan, but it didn't work. No, we ain't found the material strong enough.
But yeah, fucking from what everyone and from what I read everywhere, they all said the same thing. Oh well, pit bulls were only bred for dog fights. That's the only
Yeah.
reason why they look the way they do. But yet, if you look inside other people's homes, you can see these dogs are fucking sweet as fucking cat piss.
But Chihuahuas were bred to kill rats and not ride in white girls' purses. Come on.
Exactly, and yet even if you sit there and say one wrong thing to a chihuahua, the little shit will start fucking shaking like a pussy.
No, either that or they'll tear your ass up. Chihuahuas are mean. I got beat up by a three-legged Chihuahua when I was a kid.
That sounds like a personal problem. Oh, since I forgot to mention when I was vaping on my bill box, I told you almost every night that toasted coconut cream pie.
That sounds good. I want a piece of
Bro,
cream pie now.
On that, I'm not gonna lie, and I know I'm completely going off topic from the political shit and dog talk that we're doing. You really get that cream pie aspect afterwards. You really taste it. On the inhale, you really do get that toasted coconut.
Well, coconut's a strong flavor. I don't care what it is. It's like cinnamon. When it's in a vape, you know it.
Oh yeah,
So yeah, coconut's hard to do, but when you do it right,
Neil.
it sounds
Yeah,
good.
oh yeah. Neil says, Jim, at first it was a big dog, but the people who owned them, complained, why us?
Okay,
So the
well, I guess it's fair, but I can't imagine being that afraid because I know as a dog owner, if I'm walking my dog and he's mean, gonna bite everybody we pass, I'm not taking my dog down the sidewalk. Again,
exactly.
I guess that back to you got to put people responsible for people.
Oh yeah,
If I want to have a dog, I got to be responsible. But I get it. I get it. All dogs have to have a muzzle because you can't. But big dogs don't scare me as much as little dogs anyway.
it's the same thing with firearms. Okay, if you own a firearm and you have it locked away, and there's like one or two nights where you forget to lock it, and your kids, no matter what age they are, grab it and use it. It's not on the kids. It's on their parents for not
That I
locking it
agree with.
properly.
I agree. If you have a house, if you have an unsafe environment, you have to make it safe. Me myself, I raised my kid to know what a gun was because we got that luxury up here in the country.
Right,
So at 3 years old, my daughter was shooting.
right.
I kept a shotgun in the corner her whole life. She never touched it. But I get it. People don't have that luxury. Other people have different values, different ideas about it. But you're right. If that gun isn't locked up, it isn't the kid's fault. If you
Yeah,
didn't
I
train that
grew up
kid,
around that shit because my dad's best friend who lives in Jersey showed me his guns. I didn't fire them or anything like that. And on top of that, I went upstate and learned how to shoot. My father's mentioned to you that I already have my hunter safety shit.
yep. Which I think every kid ought to have it. Even if you're not gonna hunt, even if you're not gonna own a gun, you
Yeah,
should at least know about it. Because how many
exactly.
times do you sit there and listen to some politician want to make a gun law and they just sound like total retards because they don't know what they're talking about. You
Exactly.
can't put a suppressor on a gun and make it a 50 cal. It's not going to happen. You know,
Exactly. Exactly.
but
But
we did it. They did
it's
it with vaping. How many times did we sit there and listen to a politician talk about vaping, and
with
we're
how
all
bad it
going,
is, yeah.
"You know that's not true. You know you're lying."
Exactly. And ladies and gentlemen in chat, I want to take the time to thank Stevie Marquez. He was sponsored
Hey,
the show.
Stevie makes incredible juice.
Yeah, yeah. This channel is sponsored by Stevie Marquez, by the way, and Steve's Collective. So if you guys haven't done it already, go get your juice from him. That's if you are on the hobby side like myself and Jim, who is gonna be on with me every Thursday around 12 o'clock to 1. So stay tuned for that. It's all political talk and shit like that.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
As you can
But
tell, it just kind of rambles. It goes from this to that to this to that, kind of like a pinball machine.
and as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, Jim is stoned as fuck, and I approve
Medicated.
of that.
Medicated.
He's heavily medicated, and I approve.
Oh,
My
thank
father
God.
said not hunter safety, firearm safety. Well, I apologize for that. It's firearm safety.
But I think the hunter safety is a better aspect because it gives you the firearm safety and it gives you
Exactly.
what to do in the woods, a little bit of survival, map reading. It's basic skills. If I had my way, I think every teenager would go through basic training. Not
Right.
necessarily be conscripted to the army, but
Right.
everybody should go through basic training just to get that basic knowledge of teamwork,
Exactly. Whether it's
basic skills.
now question. When you say basic training, do you mean like military style basic
Military
training,
basic training, military
or
training.
do you mean like the basic training like the police officers have to do?
No, I mean just a military infantry level basic training. Nothing severe, nothing, you're not going to be a SEAL. We're not going to throw you in Afghanistan tomorrow. Just to go through so you learn how to read a map. You
Right.
learn how to crawl through a ditch, dig a hole. You learn how to hide, read a map.
Right.
Because
I got a
what
friend who
happens with our society today, we are so dependent on electricity and
Yep.
computers that, I mean, what if the sun exploded and
Yep.
an EMP hits us and we have nothing for the next 10 years before the world dies? What do you
Yep.
do? How do you start a fire? Do you know where to get a rabbit? Do you know how to catch a rat and make it safe to eat?
That
You,
no, I don't.
you may need to know this at some day. Maybe not
And you know
being
what? And you know what, Jim? I have to agree with you with the way our world is now. It's fucked up, especially after our conversation in Zoom. I want to say 3-4 nights ago, where you and I were talking about the war shit right before Brett and Devin came in. I have a friend that used to work for my father in Sprint that turned T-Mobile. He's in the army right now. So at any given moment, he could be deployed and go fucking fight.
God bless him. But he knew that when he put the uniform on.
Right.
And that's what people aren't understanding. They don't need to be hero worshipped. They just
Right.
need the recognition because somebody stood up and and I'm not downing anybody that never went in
Right.
because everybody does it for their own reason. When I was a kid, I knew I was going to be a soldier.
Exactly.
You never had that desire. That's fine. But if
Which
war broke out, somebody's got to build the bombs. Somebody's got to
exactly.
drive the truck. Somebody's got to do so. Everybody has a place. So it's not hero worship. It's not I'm better than you. It's just thank you. I know what you
Exactly.
did. You put that uniform on. You were ready to take a bullet for me,
Which
regardless of the war,
right.
because I get it. But that soldier doesn't say, I'm going to fight this war. That soldier says, yes, sir, let's go there. You told me to go there. We're going to go there. I'll kill that yellow
Exactly.
guy for you. But
In
yeah,
which, Jim, I got to
this
say,
whole Iran thing has brought this whole shit up. Oh, we're going to send our sons and daughters into battle. Yes, we are. Sorry.
exactly.
But that's what the army is.
And for the ladies and gentlemen in chat who didn't know, Jim is a veteran, so which explains the title of the show and everything. So, Jim, thank you for your service. Even though on
You're
Veterans Day,
very welcome.
I already thanked you for your service and everything like that.
But to me, I enjoyed it because they let me shoot big fucking guns. I got to drive a tank and shoot a tank. Come on,
You see,
how cool is that,
you
dude?
see, ladies and gentlemen, Jim got to shoot the missiles at commie bastards.
How cool is that, though? I mean, I was 18 years old, and they said, "Yeah, jump in, take it for a drive." I ran over a tree my first day.
And
He
you
said
see, that's
left,
the
I went
best part.
right.
When you have a friend that literally shot commie bastards with missiles, and you live for them to tell you the stories, it's fucking phenomenal. Especially after I had two grandfathers that fought in World War Two. It was my mother's father and I think my dad's father. Dad, correct me if I'm wrong on that, because I know you're in chat watching.
Oh, God bless him.
I think
Well,
my mother's father was one of those people that took care of like the health and shit like that.
But when you look at this world today, unfortunately, at my age now, I get it. You're half my age,
right,
so it's not the same for your generation. And this, I'm not picking on anybody.
right,
But when I think of when I look at this world, when I turn on the TV and they're protesting ICE or they're free Palestine, I'm thinking, what are these poor World War II survivors thinking? Because it's bad enough that you're forgetting World War One, but some of these World War II survivors are still alive, watching what happened to the country they fought for. They went through hell, and now they're being told, basically everything you believe in, fuck you.
exactly.
I just feel bad. It's the same thing with the Vietnam and Korean vets. Everybody wants to forget them, but they're still here. They're seeing this.
And Jim, it's also for those vets who literally served for 9, 10 years, and then just got discharged because there was something wrong. There's another content creator like yourself and myself, who lives in Vegas. He did the same shit you did. He's in his 30s. He literally served, and he got let go because of some bullshit that happened, and now he's just making money from YouTube and getting brand deals and shit like that. It's the guy's doing fucking phenomenal for himself.
That's awesome.
And the guy's making music, and like I said, he's in his 30s. So he's literally only a couple of years older than me. So which for him to be in his 30s and doing YouTube when he was literally just coming out the army is practically phenomenal. As my father just said, for my mother's father, medic in the Army European Theater, and for his father, U.S. Navy Pacific Theater, something in World War II.
Both jobs were just bullshit because the Navy. As an Army veteran, we like to pick on the Navy.
Yeah.
Air Force, everybody picked on the Air Force, so that's just easy pickings. But the Navy, squids, but no. If you watch any documentaries on any battle in the Pacific, fuck them Navy guys. They deserve everything they got because exactly. It was always said the Navy gets the gravy, Army gets the beans, Navy gets the best. They deserve the best. I could not imagine having somebody lob a 16-inch shell at me in the middle of a shark-infested ocean. No. Them boys did a job that I wouldn't do. I mean, but yeah, and being a medic, fuck that. You're out there, yeah. You might carry a gun, but you can't use it because you're plugging this guy's bullet hole.
Exactly.
No, I don't know. And you got a big red and white cross.
But with some of the guys in the Navy, not only do they play with the guns, they also play with the fucking missiles on the ships.
Yeah, but back in World War II, they didn't have the missiles.
Oh, that's true.
It was all battle guns. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a whole new ball game. We had the first torpedoed ship since World War II over in Iran yesterday, the day before yesterday. They torpedoed their biggest battleship.
And this is crazy, with everything that's going on right now, it's just mind-boggling because you already know all the shit that's already been happening in fucking Europe the entire fucking time. For fucking months, if not years, that's been going on, which is why when Joe Biden was fucking president, they had all the fucking migrants come in, fucking everything up for us.
Well, I think the whole Joe Biden migrant bullshit was a political ploy to get more power that backfired.
Exactly.
And you can see the remnants now because they're just dwindling. The only ones they got now are the crazies. And everybody else with half a brain left. Look at Fetterman. Fetterman was one of the jokes of Congress. Yep. And now he's a voice of reason.
It's the same thing with Charlie Kirk before he passed away. He was a voice of reason, and then somebody
Yes.
took him out, put all that fucking weird ass engraving shit on it.
Yeah.
And,
But Fetterman is still a Democrat. But there's still a lot I do not agree with the man on.
exactly.
But at least he makes sense to me. When he says we're going to do this, he has a plan. It makes sense. Maybe I don't like it, but that's the whole idea of politics. I'm not supposed to agree with you all the time because
Right.
my people don't agree.
And you know what? And you know, you may agree, you may disagree with what I'm going to say next. You know, with our own citizens taking out each and every other citizen in this country alone, it's sad and it's disgusting because why would you want to take out another civilian that's in our country? Yes, he may work with the government, but that's still a civilian at the end of the day when he's not in the office.
At the end of the day, it's the same ground under our feet. At the end of the day, we live in the same country. At the end of the day, we should be able to get along. You can be the blue-haired, tattooed freak you want to be at your house. I
Exactly.
can be the God fearing, Trump bumping redneck I am at my house. But when I go to the grocery store, I don't stand in the aisle singing the praises of Trump. I don't stand in the aisle kissing my wife or fucking her in the ass. Come on. I don't want you to do it.
Exactly.
That's all I'm asking.
And you know what, Jim? And you know that with that going on, with all these people preaching, doing the stupid shit that they do, taking out each and every civilian that they can, that's getting every other country that we know to fucking sit there and laugh at us.
Yes, we are a joke.
And you know
Not
what?
so much now, but we're still a joke, but they fear us now.
And I know you're a Trump supporter because you and I spoke about it.
Oh yeah, I'm a Trump supporter. I will not deny that. So
Trump,
take that for what it
and
is.
this is how I feel because you already know you and I could talk politics for fucking hours, and we could still be friends at the end of the day. You know, but I personally feel Donald Trump is the only person that could strike fear into every other fucking person in
Yeah,
every
because he
other
did what
fucking
he
country.
said. He doesn't have an agenda, and he did what he said.
He
Because if I'm China and
right,
you're America, and I got shit on you, or I got something you want, you're gonna deal with me.
right,
But if you got nothing I want, fuck you, buddy. I'm gonna kick you in the nuts. And that's what Trump did.
exactly.
There's nothing you can do for me. I'm gonna do everything for you. But if we don't get along, I'm just gonna stomp your guts. And that's what he does.
It's like when Trump first got into office, and I know you remember this because we spoke on it. You know, he struck fear into fucking Putin's heart, no problem. Struck fear into Kim Jong Un's heart, no fucking
Actually,
problem.
I will correct you there, though. He didn't strike fear into Putin's heart. He struck respect. He did strike fear in everybody else's heart. So continue.
Because of the simple fact that if you remember correctly, Kim Jong Un was or somebody over there was gonna fucking have a whole missile strike on us,
Oh yeah. Oh
and if
yeah.
it wasn't for Trump, we would have gotten destroyed right then and there.
That was when they all freaked out because he called him Rocket Man. You can't insult him like that. Well, I did.
And then, bro, it's like right before Queen Elizabeth passed away. Fucking his. The only thing I had to call Trump a dumbass for was when right before Queen Elizabeth passed away, his dumbass walks right in front of her. You don't walk in front of the fucking Queen.
Well, yeah, I get it, but yeah, I don't know. I think it was a power move, but
Yeah, it
I
was, but
wouldn't have done it. I would have. I see. I don't agree with the Queen, but I would have respected the Queen.
exactly,
I didn't agree with the Ayatollah we just killed, but I would have respected him if I met him.
exactly. It's all about. And you and Bobby told me this when I first started coming around. It's all about respect.
Yes,
If you can't if you can't show that a specific person respect, you will never get respect in
you won't
return.
get it back. And with me, you get it. You automatic. If I've never met you, I automatically will give you every respect I can give you until you prove you don't deserve it.
Exactly. And all honesty, that's why you and I've been friends for 3 going on 4 years at this point, because we have that same mutual respect for each other. I haven't steered you wrong. You haven't steered me wrong.
But I'm not an idiot either. If you do something
Exactly.
I don't like, I'm just not gonna call you. If you do something I don't like, I'm not gonna wish you dead. I'm just not gonna talk to you. You
Exactly.
know, we can be grown up here. We don't have to be all or
Exactly.
nothing, mother. Come on.
And you know, and that's the thing. Some of these people don't realize is if you can't be an adult, if you can't be civil, and you can't show that same respect to other people, then what makes you think you're gonna get that same shit in return?
Well, that's it. And that was one of my biggest ploys when I worked at Walmart. You get them asshole customers. And I would
Exactly.
look at him and say, ma'am, would you help yourself? Would you help somebody acting like you are right now? And then I'd turn around and walk off.
Oh no, I definitely wouldn't.
Oh
And
yeah, no,
and,
I
and, and you know, when I first started coming around the Zoom room, when there was fucking like 10, 20 people coming into the Zoom, in Chuck's Zoom room, fucking, I respected everyone. I had to actually no, I had to deal with that same shit because I was working at ShopRite, and I asked the customer that same shit. I said, "Would you deal with the person the way you're acting? You're acting like a fucking idiot." And I ended up getting in trouble for it.
well, yeah, I guess. But I see I was lucky because for a few years we had an awesome store manager. He was an asshole. Oh my god, if you had a kid standing up in a shopping cart, he'd
Right.
walk up to the mother and go, "Ma'am, could you please have your kid sit down because I don't want to scrape his brains off my floor," and then turn around and walk off.
Exactly. You know, and that's the thing. You know, and that's another issue. You know, with society nowadays is the fact that they just let their kids do whatever the fuck they want.
That's it. We're dealing with generations of kids that were never told no. Now,
And
I understand. When I say your generation, I don't mean everybody because I know your dad. I know you growed up better than that.
right.
But for the most part, this generation was raised by the internet because the parents weren't allowed to say no. The parents
Exactly.
were supposed to cater to this kid. When I had my kid, I didn't live my life for my kid. Life
Right.
was about my kid, but not for my kid. I still
Right.
had to do shit. I still had to discipline her. Couldn't be her best friend. Couldn't
Right.
do, you still have to do shit.
Right. And
And
you know what? And that's what my father always told me too. And he's like, and you've heard him say this. You know, he's even said, you know, the worst decision he's ever made in his life was the day he's got me an iPhone, an iPod, and shit like that. You know, that was the worst decision he's
but
ever
then
made.
again, in his perspective, another thing, the worst day of his life would have been the day he didn't get you one. Because we're in a society now that if I don't provide my kid the same thing the neighbor kid has, I'm a bad parent. I don't
Right.
care. Oh, I must be evil, or there's an alternative there. So in that case, you can't win.
Exactly. Bro, it's like it's the same thing with vaping. You know, people always get the latest greatest shit that just came out. Okay, like you know, when Boxer comes out, when Kendrick comes out with new stuff for Boxer, immediately everyone's jumping on it because they want to have the latest greatest Boxer.
Yep.
It's the same thing when Billabong was still alive. Everybody had to jump on it, you know, and buy the latest greatest Billabong, but it's just the same fucking mod, and that's it.
But that's human nature. Got to have the newest, the best.
But I like the fact that Bobby is the only motherfucker that I know that has every single fucking billet box in every single fucking color,
Even a couple customs. Yep.
and he's still and bro, he's still going to this day. And you know, I gotta commend that man. You know, if it wasn't for you and Bobby, you know, teaching me, you know, the ways of respect and things like that, and Bobby put me in my place every chance he got, you know, I'd still be the same little jerk off fucking being disrespectful. But like I said, it's the same. With the way I see, these kids nowadays, it's the same shit when it comes to like getting a new vape or getting a new car or getting the latest greatest pair of shoes that just came out. All that ties together because of the fact that, like you just said, if you don't get it, you're a douchebag. You're the worst parent in history. You're bad at
Exactly.
parenting. And
Yep.
it's like at the end of the day, you're not catering to the person. Yeah, you can care about the kid, but you're not gonna sit there and cater to every single little need.
Yeah. But I mean, everything is just so. Everybody's got to be like everybody else. Nobody can be happy that there's somebody different out there.
And the crazy thing is, I was talking to my father. I forgot when it was. We were talking about my phone or whatever. I told him, I said, I'm happy with the shit that I got. I'm happy with the computer I have. I'm happy with the phone I have. I'm happy with the fucking Apple Watch I have. I don't need to go out and get the latest, greatest fucking shit just because everybody else and their fucking mother has it.
Amen.
And to be honest with you, it kind of, I kind of made when I told him that, it kind of sounds like I humbled myself in, more ways than one with what I have, rather than being one of those spoiled ass kids that keeps telling their parents, "Oh, I gotta have this, 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 this."
Yeah, but you're
And
human. Humans will always want better, bigger, faster, stronger. It's
right,
just a matter of just make yourself content.
yeah,
All right, if there's something bugging you, okay, I really, 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 really need that new iPhone. I really need the new iPhone. Then make the sacrifice you need to make to get that new
exactly.
iPhone.
And you know what, Jim? To tie in with what you just said, Neil just said, when I was growing up, we owned a farm. I had to work on it, and my dad would buy me stuff like a three-wheeler, guns, video games, but he made me earn them.
Yes, earn them. God Almighty, that's a word we've seemed to have forgotten about.
And that's the thing, with these kids nowadays, it's like they don't want to earn shit. It's the sad, cold-hearted truth. They don't want to earn shit. They expect everything handed to them on a silver platter and everything, and expect things in their hands when they demand it right then and there. And it's like, no, you need to earn the shit. And that's the another thing that these parents nowadays, that turn their kids into these iPad babies and shit. That's, in a way, that's bad parenting because you're not reprimanding your child the way you were reprimanded, all because
Yeah,
you're too much of a pussy to do the same shit to your child, all because that, with the way you grew up, you were reprimanded nonstop.
exactly.
If you're too much of a pussy, just say that. Then let somebody else fucking reprimand you. But I forgot, the parents nowadays, they don't want to fucking let anybody else reprimand their child because then they're gonna get pissed off and everything. And it's like, no, we're not gonna play that little pissy game. It's either you reprimand your child like how you were growing up, or guarantee you somebody else is gonna reprimand your child for you.
I'll tell you what, when I was a kid, neighbor didn't have no problem fucking smacking you in the side of the head. And then you go home and tell your father that the neighbor smacked me in the head, and he'd smack you because the neighbor had to smack you.
And and that's the thing. Some of these kids nowadays don't even realize the shit. And you know what? I've seen videos. I've seen a video on Facebook recently, um, of a fucking of an African American father reprimanding his fucking son. Dude, the dude made his son, and you're gonna love this shit. The kid had the father literally made his kid hold two dumbbells above his head. And when the dumbbells didn't work, he literally made the kid hold his backpack up for being a jerk off at school and then disrespecting his mother.
Well, you got off late then, because I've known kids that have to kneel on peas or
Oh
dry
no,
beans.
so you know how for some exercises and shit like that, even some military stuff, they make you put your back against the wall and then have you squat, like basically make you look like you're sitting in a chair. That's exactly what some of these fathers are doing, and then if these kids still misbehave, they fucking cut their hair to fucking embarrass the kids when they go back to school.
Well, depending on the crime, yeah.
You know, my father's a jerk off for saying this. Not me. Anyone has permission to beat my son.
Exactly. My kid's acting up, smack her.
Don't give Jim any ideas, because knowing him, he'll probably beat me and then have me go to the store for him and pick up his weed.
Oh, we've already drawn up the paperwork. I'm allowed to beat you within an inch of your life.
Jim, you're fucked up. But fucking no, but with with the way this, just Jim, all honesty, brother, with the way this world's coming to with the wars already that we spoke about, and now with the whole kid shit, it's like this whole every single society, whether it's our society here in the States or any other country, it's fucking sad. You know, and on top of that, we still have the fucking homeless too. You know, and nobody's doing a damn thing for that. You know, and if you look at it, right, and I was trying to figure out how many homeless people are veterans that are. Actually, no, let me rephrase that. I've tried looking up how many veterans that we have in this world are homeless because they lost everything and shit like that. We have, I want to say, with the exception of you and Chuck, who I know that's veterans that's still alive. There's about 70 to 80% of veterans here, whether it's New York or whatever, that are homeless.
I believe it.
And you know what? It's disgusting and you know, and I hate to say this, but every single president that's gotten to office, and I hate to bring him up because I know you support Trump and everything, but even Trump himself has all said the same shit. Oh, we're gonna work on getting the homeless people off the streets. Oh, this, oh that. But yet these people are still on the fucking streets. It's like, what are we gonna do to get these people off the streets? You know, get them
Well,
off the streets. Get them some food. You know, and that's the biggest problem that I can honestly see that we're facing is the amount of homelessness that we have in this country. But just stop looking at the vapes for a good couple of months. Let people still get their fucking vape shit who fucking vape like adults. Just look at the amount of homeless people that we have. You know, it's disgusting.
Barry, look at how many drug addicts we have.
Alcoholics too.
It's there are ways to reach these people that want to be reached, and I don't think we're doing it.
Exactly.
There's always no money to help these people. There's always no money to build a new road. There's always no money for the school. But there always seems to be billions ready to go overseas with a smile and a handshake. And
A hot dog and a handshake, yeah.
yeah, you know, we'll fund your gay Sesame Street in Yugoslavia. Why not?
As Walking with Mick says, Dylan should be in the kitchen making me a sandwich. And then he says, "Is this a vape show?" This is one of those shit shows that I normally do, but now it's just come down to me and Jim doing the show. But yeah, that's exactly what it is, Jim. We'll support that fucking gay Sesame Street shit that these other countries are doing. It's just like, just focus on getting the right thing done. You know, let's just focus on that, because if that's not taken care of, then honest to God, nothing will get done.
Nope.
Ugh.
But the biggest takeaway is stop being a dick. Get along.
Exactly.
We
Don't
don't
be a
we don't have
pussy
to
about it
agree, but
either.
we can get along. There are people out there that don't smoke weed, and I don't wish them dead. We can get
Exactly.
along. Just because I do and you don't, you're wrong, I'm right. We can still be civil.
Right, but then again, there's those idiots that know nothing about weed and the good thing that could come from smoking it and everything.
But there's people that drink beer and there's people that drink wine. Yeah,
Exactly.
one's a sissy, one's not. But okay, But what
Yeah.
I'm saying is, you can meet each other in a liquor store and still be civil. You get your wine, I'll get my beer, and we don't have to go drinking together. But
Exactly.
we can say, "Excuse me, yes sir, no sir, please, thank you," and part
Right.
ways.
And you know what? That's the thing, and I have to agree with you on that. We can still be friends, no matter if you don't drink, you don't smoke. We can still be friends. Just let me do my thing. Let me drink. Let me smoke. At the end of the day, I'm still gonna be me regardless whether I drink or I smoke.
But that's it. But why should I hold it against you? Okay, you smoke. I don't like it. I'm not going to come to your house.
Exactly.
It's that simple. Your opinion and my opinion shouldn't matter that much to each other that I should force you to do me and you should force me to do you. No.
Exactly. Like, Jim, you've seen me smoke before. My father seen me when I fucking came in the house fucking high as shit. Is it the first time that you've seen me smoke and he's seen me high? No, and it's certainly not going to be the last. At the end of the day, I'm still me. I can still function, the way I want to do when I smoke. And am I still gonna? Is that gonna, stop me from vaping? No, it's certainly not. You know, at the end of the day, you know,
Well,
as
I
long
think
as
you, I think you said it and you don't know you said it.
what?
Is your opinion going to stop me? No.
No,
No, it really isn't. You don't. I'm sorry, Dylan. You don't have that much of an influence on my life that your opinion is going to wreck it. You know what
exactly.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
Maybe my wife has that kind of power. My kid, maybe, but
but
you,
me, no, not
nobody in this world has that kind of power to wreck my life because of your opinion of me.
right.
People need to get over that.
Exactly, and I've already told you within the 3-4 years of us being friends, I told you how much of a good person you are. You can be an asshole sometimes when we joke
Oh
around,
yeah, I am an asshole.
but
Great
you
A.
but you're still, that doesn't change the fact that you're still a good person.
But
But
but for all my flaws, for all your flaws, we mesh. So we're friends.
exactly.
If we didn't mesh, we wouldn't be friends. How many
Oh, that
people
would
have
that would
come
have been
and
a problem.
gone?
Yeah.
All right, just take the Zoom for instance. How many
Right.
people have come and gone because we didn't mesh for one reason or another?
At
People
least
come,
over
people go. But I
at
don't
least
wish
over
anybody
100
bad.
people. Yeah.
But I don't wish anybody bad.
Right, because I do remember when I started coming in. If you remember correctly, I came in at the end of 2021, and there was over at least 30 fucking people in that Zoom room.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Is some people just drifted off because we're not their cup of tea.
Exactly.
We didn't part with bad words and I hope you die and your family gets herpes. Come on.
Yeah. Then from when I started coming in, it was at 30. Then 2022, 2023, it died down to 20, and then 2024, 10, and now it's just the normal, 2 to 3 people that come in on a daily basis.
But if I see any one of those people today, I would still have a kind word and a warm handshake.
Exactly.
Come on. I have no
As
reason.
it should be, yeah. You know, as Walking with Mick says, Dylan is an influencer. You know, and that's and I would take that as a compliment. You know, because Mick, as you know, and Jim, as you know, with being a content creator, you know, doing YouTube, TikTok, you know, doing the social media lives like Facebook and Instagram, you know, you do tend to influence a lot of people and shit like that. Is sometimes it could be in a good way. Some people could take it as a bad way. You know, but at the end of the day, I'm still an influencer, a content creator, just based off of doing the YouTube stuff. You know, the way I've been doing it for the past 13 years. Oh, I don't know if I should answer this question, Jim. It's from Neil. It said, Dylan, I've been wanting to ask about the last time you and Jay got into it. What went on with that? So, with the way that went on, I was live on YouTube like I normally was, and Neil, you, Jim, and everybody else knows how I am. I was cursing or whatever. Hippie comes on chat, you know, just talking to me or whatever. Jay comes on, starts complaining about my bad language. But yet, you know how he is, was cursing up a storm on his live. I'm not gonna get too much into it. Um, it led to us doing videos of each other, and then boom, that was it. Um, but besides that, that's the last time talking about that. Um, but besides that, ladies and gentlemen, we hit the hour and 6 minute mark. Jim, do you have any final words for the fine folks in chat?
Yeah, don't be a dick. Get along with your neighbor. We all live on the same earth, and it's not going anywhere. I'm
Exactly.
not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. So just be nice.
You heard it
If you
first,
can't
ladies
be
and gentlemen.
nice, stay home.
Well, you heard it first, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
And my final words for Jim: go smoke another bowl, Smokey.
I'm gonna. I got one loaded now. God bless people. Peace.
Later.
You know what time it is. Random lifetime without G. Living in large in the US of it. Time for clouds and random chat. All you need is butter for that. Kick up your feet, don't go to sleep.
I like
It's
that.
random lifetime with butter.